Um, Thank you, Kira Bixby, for coming on here and let me just go live here, hopefully, and playing host today because that's usually my job. So welcome everyone. My name's Valerie Knopik. It's so nice to see some familiar names and faces, and really honored to teach for Kira Grace today. And I think I did just successfully go live on Instagram. So that's one success in the check mark box. Today we're going to be focusing on just a really nice slow flow, and the theme is rising together, rising strong, since this was right around the 1-year anniversary of this Rising Together series with Kira Grace that I've been so honored and blessed to be a part of. The donation, should you be inclined to share today, will be, all proceeds will go towards the Yoga Medicine Seva Foundation. Now, the Seva Foundation, I am trained through yoga medicine, and the Seva Foundation gives back to India, which is the lineage of this practice that we're going to be engaging in today. And the Seva Foundation really, the money that is raised through that foundation goes towards teaching Indian girls and young women a marketable skill so that they can really sustain themselves and not be reliant on anyone else. So it's all about women empowering women. And right now, with everything that's happening in India with COVID, there's some extra kind of slots for money to really, for the money that we raise to really go towards needs with regards to extra needs with related to COVID. So if you are so inclined, that would be wonderful. And what I'd like to suggest is that I'm going to match whatever we're able to donate today. So I'll match it up to, let's say $300. So if you're so inclined to give, that would be wonderful. But if not, I just hope that you enjoy the community that we've gathered here today, and that you enjoy the class as well. So let's go ahead and get started. You might want to have a couple blocks handy and maybe a blanket, but if you don't have those things, don't give it a second thought. They're really just to help make the practice a little bit more comfortable and cozy. Let's go ahead and get started actually laying down on our backs. Let's just go ahead and lay straight back. And just begin to take stock. So if you'd like to prop yourself up with anything here, or you need anything special, go ahead and grab it. But otherwise, we're just going to take a few moments here to take the opportunity to check in with our physical body. So just notice anything that might be going on kind of physically, if there's any place that feels tender or tense. If there's an injury that you are working with, what's your energy level like today? Do you feel a little lethargic, or do you feel really ready to go, or somewhere in between? All of these pieces, all of these questions and your answers, I don't want you to have any judgment or anything along those lines. I just really want you to answer those questions honestly so that they can inform your practice. And then similarly, just start to notice how you feel kind of mentally and emotionally. If you feel stressed or calm, happy, sad, somewhere in between. And again, not tying any judgment to it at all, but really just honoring wherever you're coming from or going to, and letting that inform your practice. All of these things interact with one another to just shape the way that we move and the way that we feel. And today, it's all about, instead of pushing or forcing your way into any movement, really rather feeling this groundswell of strength and of community and of support to lift you up and guide you through. And just place maybe your right hand on your navel center, right underneath the ribs there. Your diaphragm lives in this space. Place the left hand on the chest, maybe over the heart if that's comfortable. And notice that even in this still position where we're just taking stock and doing a little bit of scanning, that there's this symphony of activity happening under the skin, that your heart is beating. Feel the abdomen and the ribs expand as you take that breath in, and feel the opposite, that contraction, as you exhale the breath out. Know that your blood is pumping, everything is working as it should to give you strength, to lift you up, so that we really can not only lift ourselves up, but when we lift ourselves up, it's nothing if we do not lift up our community as well. Just take maybe 2 or 3 more breaths here, just feeling the gentle expansion in the abdomen as you breathe in. And the softening of the abdomen as you breathe out. And then on your next inhale, reach the arms up and overhead, extend the legs long if they aren't long already, and just take a nice big full body stretch. Possibility of movement here. Sometimes it feels really nice to be still. I think often, well, I can tell you for sure that I don't give myself that opportunity very often, so it's nice to lay still. One more inhale here, and then we exhale, hug knees into the chest, grabbing on around the knees, yourself a little rocking and rolling from side to side, or maybe circle the knees in one direction or the other. So again, just be ready, permission to be still and visualize the entire practice. That's just powerful. Middle there to be still. Let the arms come out like goalposts or like a T, whatever you got space for. Keep the knees gently hugging in. Take a breath in. Draw the navel center down towards the spine. Cinch in around the waist. Keep that as best you can.
Valerie, your mic is cutting out a little bit.
Okay, thanks. Let your knees drop over just about a third of the way. Pause there, breathe in and out. Just keep me posted, Kira. And then come back through the center, take an inhale there, and then on the exhale, let the knees drop over to the right. Again, just about a third of the way. Come back through the center and just keep moving on your own, on your breath pace, to allow the knees to just hover over to one side. Remember, we're not coming into a full spinal twist yet. You're just moving gently, encouraging the core to start to engage and turn on. Just taking the knees to your comfortable hovering spot. Moving with your breath. And then the next time that the knees drop over to the left, roll all the way over onto your left side. So you're in kind of a fetal position. Reach your arms out in front of you as if you want to touch the wall that you're facing. And just let your head relax. It might be nice to place something underneath the side of the head if that is more comfortable for your neck. We won't be here for very long. On your inhale, keep your knees where they are, reaching to the left, and just sweep this right arm up and overhead like you're making a big rainbow with your arm and send it over to the right. And then on the exhale, sweep that arm back up overhead and come back onto laying on your left side. Let's do 2 more like that. So the inhale sweeps this right arm up and overhead and reaches off to the right. You stay pretty much where they are. Exhale and sweep that arm back around. One more like that. Inhale. And exhale. Now this time on the inhale, we're going to stay. So sweep that right arm up and overhead, reach it off to the right and just pause. So you're just pausing for a few moments in this more traditional supine spinal twist. Take one more breath here. And then on your next exhale, so tie it with your breath, just exhale and sweep that right arm back up and over. You're coming to rest on your left side. On your inhale, come onto your back, knees are tucking in. And on the exhale, just let the knees rock over to the right and turn all the way onto your right side. We'll just take the same series on the other side. So you're in fetal position.
It's cutting out again, Valerie.
Oh, yeah. Let the left arm sweep up and overhead. Reaching for the left. And on the exhale, let that arm sweep up and back over to the right. Do 2 more on your own. On your inhale, let it sweep up and overhead, reaching out to the left. And on the exhale, let it sweep back into the right. One more round. Inhale. And exhale. On your next inhale, sweep that arm up and overhead, reach it off to the left and just pause. Just pausing in this spinal twist here. Take one more full round of breath there. And then sync it up with your exhale. On your next exhale, just begin to take that left arm back up and overhead, roll all the way onto your right side. Inhale, come back through the center. Let the feet find the floor, knees bent, open up the knees wide so you're in a Supta Baddha Konasana position, supine butterfly. Take the hands behind the head, gently clasp them there and let your elbows be wide. So you're laying on your back. I'm just going to try to keep facing my computer since I'm having some technological challenges audio-wise today. So I might not do the entire class with you just to try to keep my audio working appropriately. So you're laying on your back, elbows are nice and wide, knees are wide. Keep your pelvis and your knees just as they are, and just begin to kind of wiggle walk your torso and your head and your shoulders over to the left. So you're in this kind of side bend on your back. The back of the skull is on the floor, the back of the shoulder blades are on the floor, the elbows stay wide. You're just trying almost to take your left elbow to your left knee. So you're contracting the left side of the waist and getting a lot of length through the right side of the waist. Breathe into the right side of the waist. Feel the rib expand over there, the lungs expand. Take one more round of breath there. And then slowly just start to wiggle walk your torso and your head back to neutral in the center there. Take a breath in and a breath out. And then wiggle walk your head and torso and arms over towards the right. So you're trying to take your right elbow towards your right knee. You're still laying on your back. It's taking almost this little C shape in the spine so that you get a little bit of space through the left side of the waist. Take one more breath there. And then slowly come back through center, release the hands from behind the head, use the hands against the outer part of your thighs there to close the knees together, hug the knees in towards your chest. Give yourself a squeeze, give yourself a hug, give yourself kind of an internal thank you for making it onto your mat. Thank you to the community that is here practicing together, even if we can't see everyone and feel everybody's energy in a room like we would in a typical group class. Can still really capitalize on the sense of community of us all doing the same practice in different parts of the world. And if we have this capability to come down and lay on our backs, to be on the floor, for example, we have the strength to rise again. So from here, just begin to make your way to hands and knees. If you're feeling more adventurous and energetic, you might rock and roll your way up to hands and knees. If you're feeling a little bit more lower energy today, roll onto a side. Or if it bothers your structure, roll onto a side. And just come onto hands and knees, tabletop position. I'm just going to grab a blanket because my knees are tender. Been doing a little bit of running. And one of my knees is just a little tender today. So Kira, just keep me posted if my audio is problematic. Shoulders are over wrists here, knees under hips, just a very traditional tabletop position. Let's just take a few cat-cows here. So on your inhale, allow the abdomen to up and draw your chest through the gate of your arms, maybe look forward slightly. Exhale, tuck the chin in and round the spine. And really press the floor away. Every time we take this Halloween cat position, really press the floor away. So inhale, draw the chest through. And exhale, round. One more time, inhale. And exhale. Just pause here in this kind of Halloween cat-like shape. And feel your hands on the mat, feel your knees and your feet on the floor, and just begin to really take stock of how we're pressing and rooting down into the earth to rise up against gravity, right? Gravity is constantly pressing down on us. We can't see it, but it keeps us on the earth. Thankfully, it does a good job, but we need to rise against it. Okay, so part of today's class will be really focusing on this rooting down to lift and rise. So just pause here just for a moment, maybe shake the head no, check in with any tight spots, let the neck relax. And then on your inhale, come to a neutral spine, cinch in around the waist, tuck your toes, and consider the possibility of just lifting your knees up off your mat. Little hovering tabletop here. Now, the nice thing is that the knees are really close to the ground, so you can come in and out of this as often as you want. I'm just going to linger here. Root down to lift up. Root down to rise. Root down to feel your strength. Root down to support not only yourself, but also to lift others up. To lift your community, to lift your family, your loved ones, your friends. A rising tide lifts all ships, right? So root down to lift and rise. Take one more breath here, whether your knees are still hovering or not. And then exhale, lift your hips, downward facing dog. Now, it might feel a little shorter stance than your traditional down dog, so just be willing to walk the hands and feet out a little bit to lengthen the stance if you need. Nod the head yes, shake it no, maybe open up the mouth, stick out the tongue, stretch all the muscles in your face. Feel your hands and your feet firmly on the floor, rooting down to lift the hips. On your next inhale, lift your heels. Get up high onto your tippy toes. And then begin to coil yourself forward into a high plank position. You need to still hands and feet a little bit if you need to. Shoulders over wrists. Take a breath here, inhale, and on your exhale, lower down your knees and lower down your pelvis. And land in something that looks like Sphinx pose. So just walk the hands forward. Nice long necks, press down through the tops of the feet, curl pubic bone to low ribs. Take it down here, draw the chest, telescope the chest through the gate of the arms. And then lower yourself down, slide the hands out a little wider than your mat, tense your fingers, elbows are wide. So we have these little spider hands. I'm gonna call this spider cobra. Hands are just outside of the mat, elbows wide. Press down through the tops of the feet. And here again, root down into whatever's on the floor to lift the head and chest into this cobra pose. Feel the strength of your back line to lift you up. And then exhale, lower yourself down. Maybe you stay here or maybe slide the hands just slightly in. So maybe they're half on the mat and half off the mat. Elbows are still wide. Inhale, lift and rise with your strength against gravity. Exhale to lower yourself down. One more, you can stay there or slide the hands underneath your shoulders. Elbows are wrapping in. Inhale, lift up into a more traditional cobra. Exhale, lower yourself down. Press up and back and take downward facing dog. Take a breath in and a breath out. We're going to do that a couple more times. Each time we're going to add just one little thing on. Inhale, pull forward to a plank position. This time, exhale, lower down your knees. Keep your hips high. Walk the hands forward and take puppy pose. Forehead to the mat here, nothing forceful. Just feel length through the sides of the waist. Curl the navel center towards your spine and begin to coil yourself out into Sphinx pose on your next inhale. Draw the chest through, all that you know here. And then exhale, lower down. Slide the hands off the mat. Spider cobra, elbows are wide. Inhale, reach out to lift and rise. Use your strength there. Exhale, coil the heart forward as you lower down. Maybe slide the hands in about an inch. Inhale, lift up into a second spider cobra. Exhale, lower yourself down. Then slide the hands all the way under the shoulders, elbows wrapping in. Inhale, lift into traditional cobra. Exhale, lower down, press up and back, down dog. Take a breath in and a breath out. Same basic skeleton of the same series, but we're going to add on again just one more time. Inhale, pull forward to a plank. Exhale, lower down your knees, take puppy pose. Now draw forward to a sphinx. Exhale, lower down. Elbows are wide, hands slide out, spider cobra. Inhale, lift up. Exhale and lower. Second spider cobra, maybe hands come in a little bit. Inhale, lift up. Rooting down to lift. Exhale and fold. Hands slide underneath your shoulders, maybe. Inhale, lift up into traditional cobra. Exhale, lower down. Now from here, walk the hands back into a sphinx pose. Tuck your toes, curl pubic bone to low ribs, and consider the possibility of lifting into a forearm plank. Now your knees can always come down to the floor here for more support, and just breathe. Whatever's on the floor, you are pressing down to lift up. You're pressing into your strength, rooting to rise, lifting against gravity, lifting not only yourself, but kind of mentally. This is a hard pose, right? So support each other. Even if you can't see each other on the other side of the screen, some of you have people that you're partnering with there in the room. Lift each other up. You can. Lower down the knees if they aren't lower down already. Lower down the pelvis. We're back in Sphinx pose. Hallelujah. And then exhale, lower down, press up and back and take down dog. Breath in, breath out. Inhale your right leg high. Just get a nice stretch in three-legged dog. Root down to lift. Exhale, step your right foot forward. Lower down the back left knee. Pat it if you need to. And rise the arms up into just a plain old kneeling lunge. Breathe here. Now, you stay where you are. I'm just going to do a little explaining. Really press down through whatever's on the floor here to lift yourself up. And in fact, feel this scissoring action from front heel to back knee. So there's this sense of drawing in to capitalize and gather all of that strength to lift you up. Take one more breath in here. Now on the exhale, lower down your hands. Tuck your back left toes. Straighten both of your legs as you lift your hips. Now, the right knee does not need to straighten all the way. Listen to your body. Walk around to the left, turning towards the long edge of your mat, and take a wide straddle forward fold. Your knees can be bent a lot here. Nothing forceful. Sometimes part of being strong and lifting up is to maybe do a little bit less. Give yourself permission to do a little less, to work in a way that feels less aggressive and more supportive. On your inhale, lift up to a halfway lift. Walk around to the left. You're turning towards the back edge of your mat. Lower down your right knee. Root down into whatever's on the floor to lift and rise, kneeling lunge. Again, just bringing some awareness to what's touching the earth, gathering that energy, making this be an active pose by drawing front heel to back knee, gathering up that strength from that scissoring action through the legs to lift all the way up into your fingertips. Like, let your arms be gently engaged and active. Take an inhale here. And then on the exhale, lower down the hands and just press back, downward facing dog. Now, this next piece is optional. We're going to take an optional vinyasa. You never need to do a single vinyasa if you don't want to. But if you choose, and you're with me, inhale, pull forward to plank. Exhale, lower down, chaturanga. Inhale into your back bend of choice. That could be cobra, it could be sphinx, it could be spider cobra, and it could be up dog. Whatever it is you're rising against gravity, choose whatever you wish. And then exhale back, down dog. Inhale your left leg. On your exhale, step your left foot forward, kneeling lunge. We'll move just a little bit more efficiently this time. It's going to be the same thing as before. Inhale, lift up. Root down to rise. Exhale, hands to the mat. Tuck your back right toes. Straighten your legs and walk around to the right. So you're turning into that wide straddle forward fold. Inhale, lift halfway. On your exhale, walk around to the right, revisiting kneeling lunge on this side. Lower down the back left knee. Inhale, rise the arms. Take a breath in there. Pause, let it be active. Exhale, hands to the mat. Step back, down dog. Optional vinyasa, inhale to plank. Exhale, chaturanga if you're taking it. Remember, you never need to. Inhale to your back bend of choice. And exhale back, down dog. Take a breath in. And a breath out. Inhale, lift your right leg high. On your exhale, step your right foot forward. Root down into your feet this time. And instead of lowering down the knee, unless you want to, you can make this kneeling lunge. Otherwise, make it crescent lunge. Rise the arms high. So the same principles apply here. Really rooting down through whatever's touching the floor, no matter what position we're in. And finding that energy of drawing front knee or front foot to back leg. So you find that scissoring action, which hopefully helps us feel a little bit more buoyant. We're capitalizing on that strength to lift and rise. From here, take your right hand to your right hip crease. On your inhale, lift up through the left side of the waist. So you're rooting down to lift and lengthen through the spine. And then on the exhale, take a side bend over to the right. If your back knee is off the floor, think about pressing back through your left heel. Stretch through the front left hip flexor there. Strong legs. Inhale, rise both arms up. Now on your exhale, take your arms out wide like a T. Active hands, spread through the fingers. But instead of like gripping and grabbing and clenching your teeth and spreading your hands, let it be a little softer. Let it be like 70%. Take an inhale there. And then on your exhale, we're gonna open up to the right, taking this upright twist. It's a little awkward. Reach the right arm back, reach the left arm forward. Now from here, you can stay here. Options though, to take your right hand maybe to the back of your pelvis, or maybe to the back of your left hamstring, and lift your left arm high. So this right arm can find lots of different variations. Just find your variation of choice. Rooting down to lift and rise. Take an inhale. Now on your exhale, open up to your left, shift your feet, and come into warrior two. So front heel to back arch alignment. Again, be willing to shift your feet. You're so worth it. Don't feel like your feet need to be stuck in quickstand when you're on your yoga mat. Let there be some buoyancy there. On your inhale, reverse your warrior. Reach your right arm up and back. Bend into your right knee. Get space through the right side of your waist. Couple breaths here. Rooting down to lift and rise. Really root through your right heel to lift through your right fingertips. Really nice job, everyone. Now, from here, straighten your right leg, sky archer pose. Take a breath in. And then on your exhale, bend back into your right knee, cartwheel the hands down to the mat, and step back, downward facing dog. Optional vinyasa, inhale to plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale to cobra. You were born with the strength to rise. And then exhale back, downward facing dog. Take a breath in. And a breath out. Same thing, second side. I just switched my direction on my mat so that I can stay facing the camera for audio purposes. Inhale, your left leg high. Exhale, step your left foot through, finding either kneeling or crescent lunge. Remember, you have that choice. Once you find the leg position of choice, then rise your arms. So find that action of rooting down to lift and rise. That even in our strength, there's a lightness, there's an ease. Take your left hand to your left hip crease here. And on your inhale, lift up through the right side of the waist. Exhale, take a side bend over to the left. If your back knee is off the floor, press through your right heel. Just get some space there. Inhale, lift both arms high. On the exhale, take the arms out wide to a T. Nice active hands, but not forceful. Take an inhale here, and on your exhale, you're gonna reach your left arm back and right arm forward, finding this awkward upright twist. Notice that when we change the shape of the upper body, our legs need to also adjust. Let that happen. Remember, you have lots of arm positions here that you can choose from. You might linger here, or maybe you reach your right arm high and find a different position for the left arm. Rooting down to lift, lift, lift through the right fingertips. Take one more inhale here. Now on your exhale, Be willing to shift your feet, open up, warrior two. You're worth the time to adjust the feet, 100% worth it. On your inhale, reverse your warrior, reach the left arm up and back. Now, don't lose the connection with your left heel, really press down and root through that left heel to lift up and back through your left fingertips. Space through the left side of your waist. On your next inhale, straighten your left leg. Should feel nice. Sky archer pose. And then exhale, cartwheel the hands to the mat, stepping back to plank, or actually just go straight to down dog. We'll have an optional vinyasa here, keyword off. Inhale to plank if you're with me. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale into cobra or up dog. Feel your strength to rise, or whatever back bend you chose, and exhale, back down dog. Take a breath in and a breath out. Breath in and breath out. On your next inhale, lift your right leg up. You're gonna add on. Exhale, step your right foot forward. Crescent lunge or kneeling lunge or call. Inhale, rise up. Starts exactly the same, familiar space. Let your right hand find your right hip. Inhale, lift up through the left side of your waist. Feel that rooting down to lift, use your strength there. Exhale, side bend to your right. Inhale, both arms back up high. Exhale, open the arms out wide to a T. Nice, soft, active hands. Take an inhale here, and then on the exhale, reach the right arm back and left arm forward. Come into your twist. Reach the left arm high, right hand finds wherever it wants to go. You've got lots of options. Root down to lift up. That's the most important thing. And breathe. Lift your chest as best you can. Does not need to be a big back bend, just a nice lift. Take an inhale. On your exhale, open up into warrior two. Shift your feet, be willing to do so. Inhale, reverse your warrior. Exhale, come back into warrior two. Here's where we're gonna add on. Keep your right leg generally where it is, as best you can. Of course, if you need to lift it or straighten it to come out, but to make this transition, do so. You're worth it. But we're just practicing, maybe keeping the bend and the depth of your hip here as you turn your left heel in and just kind of slither your way into horse stance or goddess, whatever you want to call it. Let the hands just grace the back of your head or maybe the sides, right above your ears. Elbows are wide. It's the same arm position that we took laying on our backs earlier in class. And we're going to take that same side to side movement that we did laying on our backs in a much more relaxed pose before. So take an inhale here, and then on the exhale, tap right elbow in the direction of your right knee or thigh. It may not come anywhere close. Inhale, come up high. Exhale, left to left. Inhale, come up. Right to right on your exhale. Inhale up. Are you smiling yet? Exhale, left to left. Inhale, come up. One more each side, right to right. Inhale, come up. Left to left. Notice if you're wobbling, embrace it. Inhale, come up, straighten both of your legs, reach your arms high, 5-pointed star. Feel confident, feel strong, take up a lot of space. Lift everyone else up who's here practicing with us. Take an inhale here. On your exhale, turn your left toes out. Take warrior two to the back of the mat. Yeah. Inhale, reverse your warrior here. Straighten your left leg, find sky archer pose just for a breath. Find all that space through the left side of your waist. Now on your exhale, hinge at your left hip, reach your left arm forward, 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 and find triangle pose, Trikonasana. It can be quite high, or you can find the floor or a block with your left fingers. Just don't press on the left knee. And if you know you tend to hyperextend, let there be a little micro bend in that left knee. Rooting down to lift. We've got all kinds of gravity pushing down on us. Resist it, rise against it. We can think of gravity as like just an alternative for work stress, whatever else kind of stress is pressing down on us, whatever mood we might be in that might not be amazing. We are trying to lift and rise above. On your next inhale, reverse your warrior, bend into your left knee, reach the left arm back, and then exhale, hands down to the mat, step back, down dog. Take a breath in and a breath out. Same exact thing, second side. Inhale your left leg high. On the exhale, step the left forward, setting up for crescent lunge. It can also be a kneeling lunge, just need to be willing to adjust later. Rise the arms high on the inhale. You've got this. On the exhale, left hand to left hip. Inhale, lift up through the right side of your waist. Exhale, side bend to the left. Inhale, both arms high. Exhale, arms wide to a T. Inhale, turn to your left. So you're reaching your left arm back, right arm forward. And then rise your right arm, let your left arm find whatever position you've been taking or explore with a different one. Just lift and rise. You've got it. Take one more inhale here. And on your exhale, open up into warrior two. Be willing to adjust your feet. Inhale, reverse your warrior. On the exhale, come back into warrior two. Here's where we're going to try to keep our left knee and thigh where it is, but be willing to come in and out as you need. Turn your right heel in, right knee out. Goddess pose. We are back again. Hands to the side of the head, elbows wide. Take an inhale. Find axial extension, meaning length through the spine without straightening your legs. And then exhale, left elbow towards left thigh. Inhale, come up. Exhale, right to right. Inhale up, left to left. Inhale, and right to right. Inhale, I think we got one more. Left to left. Inhale, and right to right. Inhale, pause here. Exhale, maybe sink a little deeper. And then on your next inhale, 5-pointed star. Reach everything high. Whew. Exhale into warrior two to the right. So shift your feet, right knee is bending. Inhale, reverse your warrior here. Now straighten your right leg, sky archer pose. Take an inhale there. And then on the exhale, hinge at your right hip. Reach, 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 reach. Right arm to your reachiest point. Couldn't find a better word there. And find Trikonasana. Reachiest. Some of the things that come out of my mouth when I'm teaching class. Remember, if you tend to hyperextend like I do, put a little micro bend in your right knee. Resist that gravity. Stronger than you know. And as you resist those external pressures to rise against them, lift others up as well. On your next inhale, bend into your right knee, reach your right arm back, reverse your warrior. Exhale, hands to the mat, step back, down dog. Optional vinyasa here. Inhale to plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale to your back bend of choice. And then exhale back, down dog. Now from here, everyone, whether you've been taking the vinyasas or not, everyone pull forward to plank. And then however you choose to, we're gonna make our way all the way down to the floor. So you might lower down the knees. You might do extra push-ups along the way if you're so inclined. Wherever you are, just eventually make your way down to the mat. Make a little forehead pillow with your hands, stack your hands, elbows are wide, and just rest your forehead. Now, here, use your connection of your body to the earth to do the same thing that we did when we were laying on our backs. So, right at the beginning of class, we did this scan and then we placed our hand on our abdomen and the other hand on our heart to feel and connect with this internal environment that's really working really hard to lift us up, working so strong. Here, use the floor as that tactile awareness so you can feel your heart beating. You can feel the ribs expanding and the abdomen expanding to accommodate the movement of the diaphragm and the lungs as you breathe. And because we're in this prone position, you have this really visceral feeling of that movement and that activity. And just allow that to be this really nice visual for your internal strength. That you've got a whole internal environment of cheerleaders rooting for you, working hard for you behind the scenes all day, every day to lift you up and keep you strong. They're like the roommates, the best kind of roommates. Now, from here, just begin to slide the hands out from underneath the head. Reach the arms back behind you, or back by your hips, rather. And like we did in Spider Cobra, tent the fingers on either side of your hips. Forehead is resting on the floor. Press down through the tops of your feet so your legs are engaged. Move the shoulder blades towards each other so you're opening up across the chest. And then on your inhale, begin to lift head, chest, and maybe legs, rooting down into your pelvis, your fingertips to lift and rise. So rising strength, lifting away from the floor to lift up. Deceptively challenging posture. Resisting gravity. What if I asked you to lift up one more time? Can you lift up on your next inhale? I bet you all can find another inch. And then exhale, release everything down. Turn your head to one side or support the head, maybe however you need to. If you like that forehead pillow thing, do it. Take a couple breaths. We're going to have 2 more rounds of these prone back bends. And I want you to choose. You can stick with what we just did. You might go back to Sphinx or Spider Cobra or traditional Cobra. Or if your structure allows, if your shoulders are feeling okay with it, maybe clasp the hands behind the back for more traditional Shalabhasana. No matter what back bend you're choosing, whether it's Sphinx Cobra or locust pose, press down through the tops of the feet so that we can reconnect to our legs. They're useful. They're strong and they can help lift us up. Curl pubic bone to low ribs. Squeeze shoulder blades towards each other. On your inhale, begin to lift and rise, head, chest, maybe legs if you're in locust. And if you clasped your hands, actively reach your knuckles to the heels or to the wall behind you. Neck is long, no need to look up or forward unless you really love that. Soften around the face and the jaw. And in your strength and in your rising, find ease. Can you lift up one more time on your next inhale? And then exhale, release down. Support yourself, turn your head to one side. Take a few rounds of breath, checking in and just reconnecting and noticing your heart, your breath, blood pumping. Now we have one more round. You can choose any of the prior options we've done throughout all class, or if you feel ready, we're going to come into Dhanurasana, floor bow, where we reach back and grab onto both of our ankles. Choose wisely. Remember, we're not forcing. We're working in a way that really feels strong today. But we're going to set up the same. So activate your legs. Curl pubic bone to low ribs. Squeeze shoulder blades towards each other. On your next inhale, begin to lift and rise. Tap into your strength. If you do have your ankles, press the shins towards the wall behind you to lift the upper body. Use the strength of your legs. Rising against all of those pressures. Can you lift up one more inch here at the end? And then exhale, release down. Maybe wash the lower legs from side to side here, shimmy the hips. And then from here, I'd like for you to choose. So my body always wants to take a down dog after any kind of prone back bends. I love down dog as just a counter pose to lengthen the spine, but your body might rather take puppy pose, tabletop, maybe child's pose. Just find a place where the spine can get long. Spine is in a more neutral position. Take a few rounds of breath there. And then if the knees are not already on the floor, let them come down to the floor. And come to a seat. Just extend the legs out, give them a little shake there. Keep your right leg extended long, and we're going to bend our left knee and just tuck our heel somewhere towards our sitting bone. And you can stay here with the left foot inside of that right thigh, or some of you may opt to cross that leg over. And it's okay to take your right leg at a bit of an angle to accommodate that. That's fine. Root down through your sitting bones, no matter what position your legs are in. Let your left hand come behind you and imagine it like a second spine. So it's actually helping you sit up taller. And even here in the seated position, root down into the sitting bones to lift and rise through that right arm. Take an inhale there. And then on the exhale, take a twist. And that might mean just hugging around that left knee. Some of you may hook the right tricep to the outside of the left knee. But again, try easy. Take one more breath. And slowly unravel yourself. Extend both legs out. Give them a little shake there. I'll just take the same thing on the second side. So keep your left leg extended, right knee bends in, take that position, same position that you took on the other side, if possible. Making sure that both sitting bones are on the floor there. Right hand will come behind you so that you can find this right arm as a bit of a second spine right along the back of the torso there. Inhale, lift up through the left side of the waist and the left arm. And then on your exhale, find your twist. Not muscling in. Take one more breath there. And then slowly unravel. Unravel the legs, give them a little shake. And then just take a moment to come to a comfortable seat here before we lay back into a brief Shavasana. You might sit on something or not, whatever you're most comfortable with. But wherever you're seated, root down into what's on the floor to lift up through the spine and lift up through the crown of the head. Now take your hands to your heart center here. Clasp the hands all the way down to the webbing. Take an inhale here. And then on the exhale, flip your palms so that they're pressing down towards the earth. Straighten the arms as much as your arms will allow. If you have longer arms, they might not straighten all the way. And as we take this position, I'd like for us just to internally or externally say together. And then as we rise the arms high, sweeping them out in front of us and up towards the ceiling, kind of internally or externally say to ourselves or maybe to somebody else, we rise. And then release, let the arms come out like a goalpost or like a T, spread through the heart and come back to that starting place, hands at heart center. Take an inhale here, clasp the hands. And then send the hands down towards the earth together. Inhale the arms forward and up, we rise. Release the hands, goalpost the arms, lift through the chest. And let the hands come back to that starting point one more time. Clasp the hands, inhale. Exhale, reach the hands down towards the floor together. Inhale the arms out in front of you and all the way up, we rise. And then release the hands, goalpost the arms, lift one more time through the chest. Let the arms float down towards the floor and just begin to slowly organize yourself so that you can lay yourself back into your Shavasana today. And as you settle into your Shavasana, my invitation is to take up as much space as you comfortably can. Let it be a confident Shavasana. Take a moment just to tuck the shoulder blades towards each other, like we did in those back bends, so that the heart is open, collarbones are wide. Turn the palms up in this kind of symbolic gesture of receiving. And just imagine, if you're willing, that we are together in the same space. And that there would be this opportunity here to potentially have your hands either holding somebody else's or just close enough that you could feel that somebody's there, that there's this energy exchange between the two of you. And that even as we settle into this still point of our practice together, that there's this symbolic gesture of lifting each other up, of rising together, and of supporting each other. And as you linger here in Shavasana for a few moments, I'd like to read you a passage by Tom Althouse. When we begin to realize that any of our personal success is all of our successes, then we are truly ready as a species for the next level. For if I gain and you do not, then I have gained nothing. For gain is nothing if not shared. For to isolate oneself, no matter how seemingly enriched, is to lose the greatest treasure of all, the ability to share and grow from our universal connection. For if I gain and you do not, then I have gained nothing, for gain is nothing if not shared. For to isolate oneself, no matter how seemingly enriched, is to lose the greatest treasure of all, the ability to share and grow from our universal connection. Begin to bring some gentle awareness to your fingers and your toes. Place your left hand on your heart and right hand on your abdomen, navel center, just below the ribs. Reconnect to the beating of your heart, the rise and the fall of the ribs, the diaphragm, the lungs, as you take the breath in and out. Hug the knees in towards your chest. Give yourself a squeeze, a hug, a thank you. And roll onto your favorite side. And gently press yourself up to sit, maybe keeping the eyes closed. This sense of strength and support, no swirling about inside you. I honor the place in each of you in which the entire universe dwells, and I honor the place in each of you that is of love, of truth, of light, and of peace. Thank you so much for choosing to share your part of your day with me wherever you are in the world. Namaste, everyone.
Thank you, Valerie.
I've survived some
Thank
audio
you.
challenges.
Good job. Thank you.
Holy cow.
Valerie.
Of all days for me to have audio challenges. Well, yeah. Thanks so much, everyone. So nice to see you all. How are you feeling?
Great.
Great. It was great. Yeah. Beautiful.
Good. Oh, Lee, you made it, even though you have
Yes.
company.
25 days out of 35.
Lee just moved to Florida, so everybody wants to go visit her in the sunshine. Oh, it's so good to see all of you. Thanks for coming and sticking around.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hey, Valerie.
Yes.
The only time the audio cut out had to do with the AirPods when your arms were here, or it was like it was being covered.
Okay. Yeah, you weren't on yet, but my regular microphone, which is this like fancy, too expensive headset, was not pairing with my computer this morning, of course, of all days. So I had to go to my default backup.
But
so
other
not
than that,
ideal,
it sounded
but
just fine.
okay, good. Oh,
Thank you so much. Have a good weekend.
You too.
Thank you so much. Love you. Bye.
Thanks again. Enjoy your weekend, everybody.
Thanks,
So good to
Valerie.
see you all. Yeah.